29 minutes on to 7 o'clock. This is where I say good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Crew, PD, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world.
Clear right now.
It's Good Morning Grenada for today, Wednesday, the 2nd day of October. 2024 is the year, and 2024 is very quickly elapsing. Yeah, it's going.
Let's go.
And sooner than later, I would say it's gone, like in an auction sale. Yeah, in an auction. Yeah, going and gone. Yeah, 2024 is going quickly, really, really quickly. And it's, some folks say it's old we're getting, but I prefer to say it's age we're aging, Yep. Good morning, Yulin. Good morning, Mary E. Bangs. Good morning, Mildred Smith and Shem. Good morning, Catherine Phillip. Howdy do? Hope you're doing fine. Reaching out and saying good morning to Francis Flying Cloud Daniel. Yeah, Sylvina Charles, good morning to you. Yoland Swan, good morning. Hope you all are doing fine, yeah? Today I proclaim it. Blessings will follow you. Folks, don't forget that fitness club, that fitness campaign put on by the South St. George Police Station, okay? Yeah. It's free to register, and you've got professional trainers. Yeah, it happens every Monday to Thursday, I think it is. I'm going to get all the pertinent information. Yeah, go and join Inspector Leon McQueen and his team of trainers.
So let us rejoice
as they keep you fit. 27 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Good morning to all the busmen of the nation. What up? You and the driver of HD 390. All the buses, good morning to my guys coming down over the hills. Red Hot, good morning. Zai, KB, Ram, Marcus, Avon, Anon, Pakai, Eggies.
Thank you for another.
Good morning to the folks inside of Crowshoe. Corinth, good morning. Malty and Content.
Thank you.
Lassa Jess. Reaching out and saying a special good morning to the folks at Six Senses Grenada. How do you do? Miss Karen Brown, good morning to you. How you doing? Hope you're doing fine, right? Nice. Wagwan, Mrs. Strin. It's 26 minutes on to 7. The word of the day today. That word today is hullabaloo. Hullabaloo, yeah, hullabaloo. It's spelled Hullabaloo. I'm sure you heard this word before. And you thought it was just a slang or a phrase. No, it's actually a word. Hullabaloo. It simply means a clamorous noise or disturbance or an uproar.
You provide my need.
Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. There was a huge hullabaloo in the office when everyone found out about the surprise bonuses. Everybody was jumping and screaming for joy. So write it down, jot it down, learn to spell it, learn to pronounce it, learn to use it.
Play the music. Play it one more.
Good morning, Sherry, all the way from Toronto. She says Toronto is in the house. Good morning, all Grenadians. Sherry.
I will lift up my eyes unto the
Wifey, good morning to you. How do you do? You all right?
come from the Lord.
Nice.
I can't tell the future. Neither can
Nadisha and the folks inside of Cafe, good morning. Good morning, Chief. Red Patch, good morning. Eggies. Dancer Boy, Eggies. Christmas is coming up, and that's Eggies' favorite time of year. Mine too.
care of the rest. Yes, Lord.
Sing.
Oh, Father. Thank you for the privilege. Oh, merciful Father. To share this love you give.
Razum. My brother from another mother.
Nothing more I want to do.
How do you do? How is Jahim and everybody this morning? Michelle Bernard, good morning. Veronica Sandy, good morning to you. Reaching out and saying good morning to Superintendent Arthur Reno, former superintendent. Good morning to you and the family. Miss Margot, good morning. Anika Reese, good morning to you. Yulin, you're dancing, right?
I don't only want to talk the
Our
talk.
motivational tip for the day: our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Yeah, you're trying to thread a needle, right? And you keep missing it. You keep missing what we call the eye of the needle.
For my family. Oh, merciful.
But you only fail when you stop trying, right? At one point you will get it right. Keep trying.
I don't know.
Stick-to-itiveness. That's the name of the game.
Merciful Father, take my heart, save my soul. Oh, my child. Oh, my child.
Mr. Kenroy Batiste and family, good morning to you. Monica Meros Williams, good morning.
Hear my pride.
The nutrition health tip is up next.
This is the day.
To all the police officers of the nation, good morning. The officers attached to the St. David Police Station, good morning. Inspector Roberts and the team at the St. Paul's Police Station.
Hear my pride.
All the officers on Central, on the Carenage, good morning. South St. George.
If I had another, to start afresh again.
Follow these steps and you'll be fine. Drink lots of water, keep the body.
You are at risk of developing chronic kidney disease if you suffer from type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Diabetic nephropathy is a condition where the kidneys become damaged over time due to uncontrolled diabetes. When your diabetes is uncontrolled due to practices like unhealthy eating habits, not taking medication as prescribed, and not self-monitoring glucose levels, this can have a severe effect on the kidneys over time. Uncontrolled diabetes can cause damage to small blood vessels of the kidneys that filter waste, toxins, and excess fluids from the blood, leading to kidney damage. According to the Center for Disease Control, each kidney is made up of millions of tiny filters called nephrons. Over time, high blood sugar from diabetes can damage these blood vessels in the kidneys so they don't work as well as they should. Many people with diabetes also develop high blood pressure, which can damage kidneys too. You are at risk of developing diabetic nephropathy if you have diabetes and your blood glucose is too high and if your blood pressure is too high. You are also at risk if you don't follow your diabetic eating plan, eat foods high in salt, do not exercise, are overweight, have heart disease, and have a family history of kidney disease. You can help to reduce your risk of diabetic nephropathy by managing your diabetes effectively, including seeing a nutritionist or dietitian for advice on healthy eating habits to help you manage your blood sugar and blood pressure. Until next time, the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council reminds you to look, eat, and feel well.
Rolls ring a bell? Yes, they keep the body working.
This is
20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Please pay particular attention to those tips that we are giving, all right? And as the Christmas season creeps in, we have more information that we would share with you. We'll be sharing a whole lot of recipes. I'll be bringing in a number of people to, you know what I'm saying?
if I had another
Yeah, that's what we do here, keeping you informed and in the know.
life all over. Things just
For those of you out there in the diaspora, good morning. Nutmeg Queen, good morning.
there is no God.
The folks inside of Quebec, good morning.
Thank you, Jesus,
Montreal,
for all you done for me. Yes, Lord. Oh,
as my mom would have said, Toronto. Joe, good morning. Miss Annie, good morning to you and the entire home circle. Daniel, Delia, Curti, Carla,
thank you for the
everybody.
sacrifice.
Morning. Ashlyn,
Oh, yes, I'm still.
Micah, and Alista.
Oh, my child.
What's buzzing this morning? Quickly, let's see what's buzzing. What's buzzing? What's making the rounds this morning? I see my partner Hamlet Mark getting on, boy.
Hear my prayer.
Go ahead. old folks have a way of saying this thing, where your foot lady or your something, go pay for it. Go ahead. Hamlet Mac, the Honorable. All right, the Ministry of Agriculture, Kabi, and Sandals Foundation, they've joined forces to combat invasive species affecting Grenada's agricultural industry or sector. In the region, Trinidad and Tobago moving to divest Clico shares. Yeah, the Minister of Finance, Colm Ilbert, he says that, by divesting the shares, it can ease the hardship on the Trinidadians for the next few years. Internationally, the U.S. is boosting forces in the Middle East by a few thousand troops. Folks, I'm getting scared of what's happening in the Middle East, all right? This back and forth with Iran and Israel and the Houthis and Hamas. Israel say they're going to retaliate because Iran launched in excess of 180 rockets at them last night. And this thing is getting serious. Pray for the world. Pray for the world. Who says prophecy must be fulfilled? In the last days there shall be wars and rumors of wars. Pastor Laurie, Dominic, and family, pray for us, right? Pastor Fletcher, good morning to you. Nixon, the entire Fletcher family. Pastor King, yeah, down on your knees for us, right? Yes, Lord. In sports, the stage is set for the eliminator of the ongoing CPL 2024. Good morning, Nero. They're putting together a contingent to enlighten us as to the events of October 19th. As a matter of fact, there's a big celebration planned. Yeah, and a lot of information will be disseminated. We look forward to that. Gigi Giles, good morning to you, and Denzo. Yes. Daphne and Sylvie, good morning also. Nurse Pierre, good morning in ICU. Zia, Tariq, and Zanaya, good morning. All you good? Nice. Nurse Keisha, how do you do in St. Paul's? That's not St. Paul's, that's how you call it inside there, boy? Mondelez, going down inside there? Yeah. Nice, good. So those are the buzzing stories, folks. We've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather coming up right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
All your precious
On October 2nd and 3rd, Grenada land actors will stand before the Grenada High Court in a landmark case, one that could reshape how development happens across our island. GLA are calling for responsible, sustainable development. Right now, major resort projects are moving forward without proper environmental assessments or public consultation, as is required by law. These developments have the potential to affect everything from local economies to the air we breathe to the habitats of endangered species. We have already lost so much. Grenadian citizens have a democratic right to advocate for the conservation of the land and the environment in which they live and thrive. This is a fight for our future. Follow the story and stand with Grenada land actors. Together, we can protect our island. Visit grenadaland.org for more information.
Looking to take your business to new heights? Advertise with GPN on our social media platforms and get noticed by our 138,000 plus followers. Reach a massive engaged audience ready to connect with your brand. No matter your business size, GPN is here to help you grow. Contact us today at admin@gpn.gd or WhatsApp 407-8458 to get started.
Good morning. This is the GBA News for today, Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Coming up in the news, the Ministry of Agriculture, CABI, and Sandals Foundation join forces to combat invasive species affecting Grenada's agricultural industry. In the region, Trinidad and Tobago moving to divest the Coleco shares. Internationally, U.S. boosting forces in the Middle East by a few thousand troops. And in sports, the stage is set for the eliminator of the ongoing CPL 2024. We've got the details to this and more after these messages.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
GBN is your home for this year's Republic Bank CPL. Please note there will be adjustments to our programming lineup on Tuesday, October 1st, Wednesday, October 2nd, and Friday, October 4th. Transitions will
Good morning. With the news in detail, I am Gordon Joseph. The Ministry of Social and Community Development, together with other ministries, will observe Mental Health Day on October 10th. My colleague Chrislina John shares government's plans to recognize the day.
Love your mind. It is your most important asset. That's the overriding advice relative to one's mental health. And as World Mental Health Day approaches, people are reminded to take care of their health. This year's theme is, it is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. According to Kizzy Matthew Clarence, psychologist and head of the Psychosocial Support Unit in the Ministry of Social and Community Development and Gender Affairs, it is globally recognized that while working is good, the fact that employees are faced with workloads, managing tasks, and managing different personalities in the workplace, these can all be contributors to high stress. It therefore begs the question, what can employees and employers do to ensure that policy decisions help workers manage stress and their mental health?
And for this year, 2024, we want to encourage persons in the workplace, encourage employers to put strategies in place to prioritize the mental health of your workers. Ensure that your policies do not allow for stigma and discrimination for those who are suffering with anxiety, depression, and other mental illness.
Oftentimes, stigma and discrimination result in some people suffering in silence. Churches, non-governmental organizations, private sector and community organizations are being urged to get on board as mental health matters. Awareness is critical, and this year, a number of activities are intended to foster their knowledge.
And for this year, we began with a church service at the St. John's Open Bible Church on Sunday, 29 September. Then on October 1st, we will be collaborating with the Desk of the Elderly, who is also celebrating the International Day of Older Adults for October, to do some depression and anxiety screening again, because we want persons to be able to know where they are, to take stock of their mental health, see if they're depressed, they're anxious, or how well they are coping. On October 7th, we're looking to do a series of interministerial public education on stress management and other mental disorders or the issues that affect persons mentally. On the 8th of October, there is a mental health symposium geared at just educating persons on a number of issues: chronic illness and mental health in the workplace, and men and mental health, to let persons be more aware of the importance of all of these issues that might be challenging us. And then the evening session, we're encouraging persons to do self-care. That it's so very important that to manage stress, we're able to care for ourselves in a number of ways. And with our month of activities also, we normally would do our signature event, which is our music lunch hour, where we bring in a live band in front of the complex. All persons are invited. Come, just sit with us, dance with us, relax with us in a nice environment.
Activities include visits to elderly homes and sessions with daycare staff. The month of October is also observed as Month of the Elderly and Child's Month. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Thank you very much, Chrislina. Now, to sustainably combat the croton pest, protect biodiversity and safeguard food security across Grenada, the Sandals Foundation has partnered with the Grenada Ministry of Agriculture and the CAB International's PlantWise Plus to implement an integrated pest management program for farmers and technical officials to identify and manage the effects of the invasive alien species now affecting the island's mango, soursop, sugar apple, June plum, yellow and red plums, guava and avocado production. Approximately 45 farmers and 35 technicians from the Ministry of Agriculture were recently trained in a specialized session to build their capacity on the use of biological control methods for pest and disease currently threatening the island's crops. The Grenada agricultural sector faces challenges due to the recent croton scale infestation. The CABI PlantWise Plus integrated pest management program, implemented at a value of approximately 100,000 EC dollars, aims to equip a total of 60 farmers and benefit over 1,500 community members by promoting sustainable agriculture. The program will also develop campaigns to improve national awareness via traditional and new media. And finally, the Caribbean Tourism Organization will amplify the visibility of the region's presence in Europe following a landmark partnership with the CTO chapter in the UK and Europe, which represents over 85 travel-related companies and organizations. Donna Regis Prosper, Secretary General and CEO of CTO, announced the launch of strategic marketing initiatives to bolster the Caribbean's brand across the UK and emerging markets in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. In collaboration with the CTO Secretariat, the CTO Chapter UK and Europe will execute a comprehensive work plan to increase the region's visibility and engagement with key audiences across these pivotal markets. The renewed efforts encompass a wide range of activities, including strategic marketing programs, digital marketing strategy, commercial activities, market intelligence, collaboration with affiliates, media, and stakeholder engagements. That concludes the local segment of news. Stay with us, the regional roundup and international developments, along with the sports and the weather. They are straight ahead. It's 4 minutes on to 7 o'clock. We now join the Caribbean News Desk for this morning's edition of the Regional Roundup.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Dennis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendall Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
Lucia's Prime Minister Philip Peer is urging employers not to send home workers now that their minimum wage has been increased.
I implore employers to strengthen their solidarity by resisting any efforts to reduce levels of staffing where adjustments are to be made to bring wages in line with the minimum livable wage. what may appear to be cost savings at the level of your individual businesses may turn out to be more costly at the national level, resulting in false savings.
At least 11,000 workers must now be paid 1,131 Eastern Caribbean dollars per month, or $6.52 per hour, in keeping with the law that took effect yesterday. He says the Minimum Wage Commission took several things into consideration in recommending a fair day's pay. The Prime Minister welcomed the fact that the St. Lucia Chamber and the St. Lucia Hotel Association did not formally object to the minimum wage.
Across in Trinidad and Tobago, Finance Minister Calm Embett has ruled out an increase in the national minimum wage for 2025. The Finance Minister says small and medium-sized businesses were still grappling with the effects of the last minimum wage increase of 17%. He says this is to protect small businesses.
We recognize that any increase in the national minimum wage has its pros and cons. While it brings comfort and an improved standard of living for those at the bottom of the income scale, an arbitrary increase in the minimum wage can create hardship for small businesses and for marginal enterprises. It can even lead to retrenchment, closure, or reduced working hours, thus cancelling out its benefits. We have therefore decided not to make any further increase in the national minimum wage at this time.
However, he says more than 18,000 public sector workers will get an increase in the minimum wage from the Trinidad and Tobago dollar equivalent of US $3 per hour to $3.32 per hour.
Jamaica and India are exploring new areas for cooperation following a meeting of their Prime Ministers Andrew Holness and Narendra Modi in the Indian capital yesterday. Prime Minister Holness is on a 4-day visit to India, which has already seen the opening of new offices for Jamaica's High Commission in New Delhi and renaming of the adjoining street Jamaica Road. Prime Minister Holness expects closer collaboration in several areas, including medical tourism, sport, and the lucrative film sector.
Jamaica recently established a film fund which signals the government's intent to support filmmakers in Jamaica. We acknowledge the tremendous success of Bollywood, and we look forward to collaboration between the Indian film industry and hundreds of filmmakers in Jamaica.
Representatives of regional entities with an interest in the sargassum seaweed will today wrap up a 2-day conference in Grenada aimed at developing investment opportunities from its growing presence. The unsightly sargassum seaweed has been washing up on Caribbean coastlines in large quantities and has been a problem especially for the beach tourism-dependent countries. Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell urged participants at yesterday's opening to move sargassum from problem to opportunity.
It is clear from just taking a cursory look at the booths outside of this door that there are significant opportunities already for exploiting this resource. What we need to ensure is that we can scale this up, we can fund it, and we can make it sustainable. And importantly, we can empower the communities that have been negatively impacted by this. It is critical because there are lots of communities who've suffered as a result of our inability thus far to treat with this issue.
The 2-day conference organized by the OECS and the European Union has attracted representatives from governments, regional organizations, academia, the private sector, and financial institutions.
Belize says fields of sugarcane in the northern part of the country have been infected by a fungus. The type of fungus is not yet known, but the Belize Agriculture Health Authority says symptoms include yellowing and curling of leaf tissues, stunted growth, and wilting or discoloration of plants. Belizean authorities say even though the species has not been identified, they are concerned because they are unable to quantify the potential loss of production. The Agriculture Ministry, Sugar Industry Research and Development Institute, Belize Agricultural Health Authority, the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, and the University of Belize are working to identify the fungal species and drafting an integrated disease management strategy. This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
And looking further afield, Iran has launched a missile attack on Israel. The Israel military says around 180 missiles were fired, most of which were intercepted. No serious injuries have been reported so far, and Israeli authorities say civilians can leave bomb shelters. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Iran made a big mistake and will pay for it. Israeli troops have invaded Lebanon in what the Israeli military calls a limited, localized, and targeted ground operation against Hezbollah. Now, in response to this, the United States is boosting its forces in the Middle East by a few thousand troops by bringing in new units while extending others that are already there. The Pentagon said the increase in Washington's military presence in the Middle East comes as the Israel-Hezbollah conflict grows after Israel killed the Lebanese militant group's leader Hassan Nasrallah last week. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh told journalists on Monday a certain number of units already deployed in the Middle East region will be extended, and the forces due to rotate into theater to replace them will now instead augment those that are already there. These augmented forces include F-16, F-15E, A-10 and F-22 fighter aircraft and associated personnel, Singh said, later adding that there will be an additional few thousand personnel in the region as a result. And finally, Claudia Sheinbaum was sworn in on Tuesday as Mexico's first woman president, inheriting a country beset by gang violence and economic uncertainty over controversial reforms passed by her powerful ruling party. To cries of "Long live Claudia, long live Mexico," the 62-year-old former Mexico City mayor took the oath of office and received the presidential sash in Congress, with foreign dignitaries looking on, including U.S. First Lady Jill Biden. Sheinbaum told sharing lawmakers that, for the first time, women have arrived to shape the destiny of our beautiful nation, where around 10 women or girls are murdered every day. Supporters began gathering at downtown at dawn to celebrate the inauguration of the new leader of the world's most populous Spanish-speaking country. And in a story just coming in, a U.S. lawyer said that more than 100 people are to sue rap musician Sean Diddy Combs for sexual assault, rape, and sexual exploitation. A Texas-based lawyer, Tony Busby, said that some of the alleged victims include minors who were abused when they were as young as 9 years old. Erica Wolf, a lawyer representing Mr. Combs, said the rapper emphatically and categorically denies the allegations, saying they are false and defamatory. That's the regional roundup and international news. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. After 30 grueling matches coming thick and fast, the stage is set for the eliminator of the ongoing CPL 2024. Barbados Royals will take on Trinbago Knight Riders at the Providence Stadium in Guyana today, October 2nd. Guyana Amazon Warriors will take on St. Lucia Kings in Qualifier 1 on Thursday, October 3rd at the Providence Stadium in Guyana also. The Amazon Warriors finished at the top of the points table with 14 points from 7 games, while the St. Lucia Kings also completed the league stage of CPL with the same points behind the leaders. Guyana Amazon Warriors come into the contest after they were handed a 74-run thrashing from the Trinbago Knight Riders, while the Kings come into the tie after their loss to the Amazon Warriors. That's the sports at this time. We'll have more sports for you in our luncheon edition. Stay with us. This weather forecast is up next. And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster at the Met Office of the MBIA, Jonathan Johnny Price. Johnny, good morning.
Good morning to you and good morning, listeners. Here is the weather for today, Wednesday the 2nd of October 2024, as recorded at the Morris Bishop International Airport. It is currently fair. The winds are calm. Barometric pressure is 1009.7 millibars, which is below normal and rising. Present temperature is 28.1 degrees Celsius and relative humidity 82%. Yesterday's maximum was 32.5 degrees Celsius and the minimum last night 25.9 degrees Celsius. No rainfall was recorded over the past 24 hours, hence the total for the month remains at 85.5 millimeters. And now for the public forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique weather for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy, becoming fair at times, with light to moderate showers and a low chance of thunder. And there is a warning for a heat wave advisory in effect. Today's maximum will be 32.5 degrees Celsius with winds northerly to southeasterly at 5 to 15 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm at times. Seas will be slight to moderate with waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. Low tide will be at 10 a.m. and high tide at 3 p.m. Sunset will be at 5:56 and sunrise also at 5:56. Just to repeat the public forecast for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy, becoming fair at times with light to moderate showers and a low chance of thunder. And once again, there is a heatwave advisory in effect. From the forecasters at the Morris Bishop International Airport, I'm Jonathan Price. Have a great week.
And Jonathan, just before you run off, the heatwave, how long do we expect it to be in place?
The initial heatwave advisory, which was issued yesterday, should be in place for approximately 2 to 3 days, but that may be updated depending on how we see things moving ahead from tomorrow.
And how it looks at the moment?
At the moment, it looks like it will be in effect for a few more days still.
Wow, okay. With the Christmas season creeping in and the northeast trade start coming down, we start getting cold in the night, but the days are hot.
Well, the northeast shades are not very strong. As I mentioned in the forecast, the winds are light. So when the winds pick up and there are cooler temperatures coming in from the northern part of the area, then we should be able to get some cooler temperatures. But for now, we still in the heat season, basically.
Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Have a good day. Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick and Thompson Company Limited.
Make home yours every day with Courts. Everything you want. Make home yours anytime with Courts. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, oh, oh. Get value for your money. Ooh, oh, oh. Courts have the best quality. Home is what you make it. Best prices and good credit. Oh. Courts have it all. Home is what you make it. Top brands, you're sure to get it all. Courts have it all.
Courts has what you need to make home yours. You can get it all with easy payment plans using Courts Ready.
Ten minutes gone past 7 o'clock to end the news. A recap of the headlines. The Ministry of Agriculture, CABI, and Sandals Foundation join forces to combat invasive species affecting Grenada's agricultural industry. In the region, Trinidad and Tobago moving to divest the CLECO shares. Internationally, U.S. boosting forces in Middle East by a few thousand troops. And in sports, cricket lovers, well, the stage is set for the eliminator of the ongoing CPL. My bet is on the Guyana Amazon Warriors. That's the morning edition of news for today, Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. On behalf of the entire news department, I'm Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening, wishing you a productive day, and extending the invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
As we get ready to give thanks, the long Thanksgiving weekend. Legends Promotions presents the 18th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Saturday, October 26th, Grenada Trade Center at 7:30 p.m. featuring the 1980 Calypso Monarch Survivor. Together with Stubbles. 10 times Calypso Monarch Scholar. Alongside Luther, Tobago Crusoe, and 7 times Soca and 10 times Road March King, Super Blue. Super Blue. Tickets cost $60 and are available at all Gittins Healthcare Pharmacies, Wall Street, Grenville, and Guelph, Springs Shopping Center, St. David's Pharmacy, Clear Vision Eye Care Center, on the Carinage, and Gittins Pharmacy, St. George's. It's the 18th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Saturday, October 26th, Thanksgiving weekend, Grenada Trade Center, 7:30 p.m. You can't afford to miss this one.
It's the event you won't want to miss. GIDC Business Deals Day is happening on Saturday, October 12th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Frequenty Industrial Park playing field. Explore the latest products and service offerings from businesses within the industrial parks. Enjoy discounts on GIDC business support services and get fantastic deals on household items, building materials, accessories, condiments, and more, with exciting prizes up for grabs throughout the day. But that's not all. Dive into a mini health fair and career expo for valuable health education and employment opportunities, all while enjoying the songs of Trio the Band and DJ Graphic Sounds. It will be a fun-filled day filled with eats, drinks, games, deals, and more. Mark your calendars and join the GIDC at Frequenty Industrial Park playing field on Saturday, October 12th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. See you there.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Grendec Community Partnership Initiative.
On behalf of Netball Grenada, we want to say a special thank you for the contribution made. We are certain that the contribution that had been given would be put into good use and we would bring home great results.
Grendec, energizing our community.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win. Free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free Hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for one whole year. And every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sits, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Grenlac, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribberies, Guap Bag, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, good morning, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the conversation. And as you can see this morning, I've got with me two distinguished gentlemen. To my extreme right is Mr. David Ambrose. Just after Carnival, we had a program Beyond the Head, no, Rock the Box, where he introduced a new book. He's an author. He's a dean of one of the departments at TAMCC. He's also a director on the National Cultural Foundation. Grenada Cultural Foundation. And to my immediate right is, of course, Mr. Livingston Nelson, and he is the CEO of the Grenada Cultural Foundation. And we're here to talk about the what tech again?
The anti-tech
spice word. And hence the reason why I'm happy the author is here with us. So Mr. Nelson, a former teacher, I always say once a teacher, always a teacher. So he has a passion for that as well. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and good morning to all the listeners outside there.
Yeah, good. It's always a pleasure to have people like you on board. So, from the base, what is the Spice Tech word?
The Anti-Tech Spice Word Festival
yes.
is something that was initiated by the Grenada Cultural Foundation about 12 years ago. What we do is to recognize the fact that Anti-Tech herself, Thelma Phillip, was one of Grenadian leading folklorists. Storytelling, etc. So in her name, we initiate this activity, or we call it now name after the Anti-Tech Spice Word Festival, is to really recognize the literary work of Grenadian, but it deals with folk tales, the Anansi, the mythology, the Ligao, the larger bliss. We want to recognize that part. We go to the other extreme. We want to recognize the writers, Grenadian writers, and David, Director Ambrose would say a lot more about that in terms of the number of authors we have now in Grenada. We want to recognize our poets, our creatives. We also want to recognize our calypsonian, because there's an aspect of it we recognize. We want to do this year. We have initiated, we call Taka Calypso. I know, Innocent, I don't think you could, you may win crown on the national stage, but Taka Calypso, you're going to forget your words.
You forget I was predominantly an MC, right? A master of ceremony, so I better at talking than singing.
So all that aspect of it, we want to recognize. We want to recognize some of our folk songs, but basically the literary work of Grenada and the creative part that deal with capturing what I would say first or the history through the word, and also the culture through the word. So while my brother here to the right explore the full plethora of literary work, meaning fiction, etc., for us in the Cultural Foundation with Anti-Tech Spice, what we want to recognize work that celebrate the Grenadian history and culture and bring that honor the many, many poets, storytellers, authors that are all there, that in the back room not coming forward. We want to bring them on the stage, and we want to marry the two. Those that are the creative and those that need to hear and to be reinforced, of our Grenadian history and our story. So that is really what Anti-Tech Spice Word is all about.
I am very, very excited about this. But amidst the excitement, I am sad. Why? Because for some reason, based on the trajectory that our world is going today, I don't see our children like we used to do. We did in our youthful days. When 6 o'clock and so forth, we congregate and tell stories together. Nowadays, they've deviated to the gadgets. But I really, really love that initiative.
So that is what you just said. It makes a lot of sense. But then how do we correct that? So for this year in particular, the Grenada Cultural Foundation, we have taken that we have broaden the scope. So we have involved example like Taka Calypso as part of it, sitting around the bonfire and telling stories and bringing back the ring games. Now the thing is, we can all sit down and lament of what is missing, but what are we doing to correct it? And that is where we come in.
Okay.
So that is where we come in now. So on twofold, we have increased the level of what we call the spoken word or the word.
Yeah.
So we have increased on that. And the second thing we have done is to broaden, instead of having it just in a parish, which we used to do before, what we do, we're doing it all over Grenada. So we involve in the parish-based organization. So later on, you would hear example like on Monday, we are going to go to GBSS and we have a panel discussion. But the panel discussion is about excerpts from our playwright, like Urias Peters. We have Taka Calypso with Squeezy. So we exposing our students to the different aspect. We have storyteller. We have an excellent storyteller from Hermitage, a guy called Dedet Alexander. Really about all the old folk stories. So these people would be showcasing at the GBS auditorium. And that is on the 7th. On the 8th, we have a poetry competition in GSS. That is with WAG, Writers Association of Grenada. So before I go further, let me just say we're in collaboration with the Grenadian Publishers Authors Inc., WAG, Writers Association of Grenada, the parish-based organization, and we are also appealing to all the schools to be part of that from the 7th to the 12th. That is when we really having the Anti-Tech Spice Word Festival. But I was quickly going to, before I let my brother come in here with more details, on the 8th, we are actually having this poetry competition in Grenville from 5 till 7. From 5 to 7 at the GSS.
That's in the PM, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay. From on the 9th, we're doing a drama workshop that will be taking place at the Pastoral Center in Guave. On the 10th, we have an open mic night at Bolio. That is where this Grenadian Cultural Foundation office is based. And we're asking you, can you talk your calypso? Can you do an extempo? Do you have an excerpt from a book? Do you have an excerpt from a play? Are you a poet? Are you a storyteller? Just come in. You don't need an invitation. We want the public to come. We want you to come and listen to the plethora of Grenadian expressions that would be taking place at Spice Basket, again from 6 p.m. on the 10th. And on the 11th, we're going to be again back in Guave, where at Patal's Fish Fry, the Guave Improvement Committee would be having authors and poets coming through Fish Fry. Again, at the same time, taking place at the Breakwater in Surtees, we're going to be having the bonfire, and we're going to have the storytelling and the riddles taking place at the same time. And again in Kajuna, at the St. Mary's School, we're going to be having Sedu, again leading that charge with the bonfire and having the storytelling and games, etc., getting our people associated. But one of the bigger ones would be taking place in St. Paul's at the community center. Again, the similar thing would be taking place throughout the island. And in schools, throughout the whole week, we are going to be having some selected schools, but we are going to also be we are asking the principals, teachers, those that are doing English B, to come on, join and get your children writing and telling stories and being part of that celebration. And we'll be culminating that on the 12th. And I don't want to tell about the 12th because we have somebody much more qualified to talk about the 12th.
When will that person come?
Reach already?
Mr. Ambrose, it's always a pleasure talking with you because I have a passion for words. Mm-hmm. Notwithstanding the fact that I do mispronounce quite a few of them at times, but it's a work in progress. But piggybacking on what Mr. Nelson said, you as an author, how do you think you can incorporate all those dialect that seems to be lost now into your writings, that we can get into our school system,
right?
That like my grandchildren wouldn't be baffled when they hear the word, hey, stop mama guy in me. Mm-hmm. You know, this sort of thing on them. Yeah. And you all sukuya. Come on, you liga, you know. Our grandchildren would lose those things.
You learn a few things, boy.
Come on, I'm an aged man.
You know the stuff. But the more we use our dialect or colloquialisms within the right context as we communicate, the more they're going to stick around. So whether it's in the oral context, whether we're speaking with people in conversation, or whether it's in writing, we just have to use them. There's always the argument that our official language is English, standard English. So we should use standard English.
But is that true?
Dialect. Our official language.
Is standard English? What, the Queen's English?
Apparently the Queen's English. But we had to.
I don't subscribe to that theory.
Caribbean English now.
I don't subscribe to that theory.
But you can change.
It's one of those things.
To adapt our own.
Language is dynamic, and even the standard dialect is dynamic. So, for example, in the Cape Communication syllabus, Communication Studies syllabus, the recently revised syllabus, they're talking about the variety of English that is relevant to the particular territory. So we're talking about Grenadian English, and that doesn't necessarily mean non-standard English, but our own Grenadian colloquialisms, because we use terms and expressions in Grenada that aren't particularly used in other territories. That's not non-standard. So when we use our words like Mama Guy and Papi Show and things like that, other territories may use those words and things. But
for example, in Grenada, when something is exciting to us, we say "Oui, Papa."
Oui, Papa.
In Barbados, they will say "cheese on bread, ma."
Correct. And that's their colloquialism. They know what they mean. We know what we mean when we say "Oui, Papa" or "Wo yo yo" or whatever it is. So, but we have to keep using our language, our expressions, in order for us not to use them. But we must always remember, I think, that we must use them in the right context. Context is important.
Okay, and what would be dubbed the right context?
We know what the right context is whenever we're in the situation. So there is no prescribed method to say, all right, let's write this down. In this context, you should use this. Somehow we naturally know when to use a particular expression.
It's not structured.
It's not structured.
Yeah.
We just know.
We know when we could use it.
Even as children, the children know as well. So we'll be surprised to hear that. So in our writing, a lot of Grenadian authors bring that out in our writing. When I write, all my stories have Grenadian dialect in them. The narration might be in standard English, but the dialect, the dialogue would be in dialect, so that people know that, hey, these are Grenadian characters. So there's in White Spice, my first book, the officers and the other characters speak in Grenadian Creole English. In that time in Bogles, which takes place in Carriacou, they speak in the Carriacou dialect. If you were to read the two books side by side or one after the other, you will notice a difference between the Carriacou dialect and the Grenadian dialect.
And even you can even go further and say on mainland Grenada, certain parishes and villages you go, it's different.
And Grenada is small, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I could identify someone from St. Patrick just by the way they talk.
Correct. Yeah.
I say you come out Sutton's. Yeah. I could identify.
I could identify St. Patrick's, Boston, St. David's, just by the way they speak.
So, do you think that we are on track to document these things that we are saying here now? What seems to be lost or being lost, the dialect and so forth, so that it can be incorporated into a school's curriculum for generations?
I don't see it as being totally lost. We do have the opportunity to incorporate that in our school's curriculum through literature. But that is if we begin to use Grenadian books in our school's curriculum.
Well, that's the point. That's the point.
We have a lot of books. We have a lot of Grenadians who write about Grenadian stories. Grenadians have a lot of stories to tell. So if we incorporate these books in literature, then the children begin to read the stories. They begin to read how Grenadians, to read the writing, how Grenadians speak. Then that would become more natural to them.
Kind of second-base language.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a second-base language.
It's supposed to be primary.
But maybe, let me just come in here. I think that is what this whole Antitech Spice Word Festival is about. Is, you see, you may ask, can we get it into the school curriculum? But then I always ask the question, before we get into the school curriculum, what content have we created that is a structured content to teach. So everybody say, well, we must teach that. When we teach culture, we teach that in school. But have we collected enough content and are then able to structure it before we could go in the school? What do we agree upon? What do we agree on? So the Antitech Spice World Festival is embracing the totality of our experience, our history, our culture, the spoken word, irrespective of how it is. Now, and then the Grenadian Publishers Authors Inc., they are putting this in writing and structuring it in such a way, and the authors are capturing part of what we want to express orally. So we're combining the two. When we reach a point where we have enough content, then we can, I believe, expose that now in a structure way in the school. But part of what we want to do is to take the colloquial, the folk tales, the Taka Calypso in schools now. To the Antitech Spice World Festival. So we are not waiting, we are gradually pushing this into the schools. Now, do we have, say, a subject matter that you can pass at a level? No, we don't have it as yet. But at least it used to be 3 days, it is now 1 week. Hopefully next year we might have 2 weeks of expressing our Grenadian our Grenadian word, or our folk tales, our stories. Right. So that is where we are going, and I think we recognize that.
I also beg to indulge here that not just the way we speak, but even our dress code.
That's the next matter. But I think Director Ambrose he really would like to say to the public what the Grenadian Authors, Publishers Authors Inc. are doing. And I think it is important that it goes into the event itself, because it's a big event that we have on Saturday at the Trade Center.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it is important that he let the public know.
Please. Yes. So on the 12th, that's the final day of the Antitech Spice World Festival. Grenadian Published Authors Inc. will produce and host the Grenada Book Festival. And this is an event where we showcase Grenadian authors. And so it's not all about showcasing just books, but we're bringing out the word. We're bringing out the word to the public through poetry readings, through panel discussions, through prose readings from novels and things like that. We will also have what's called a children's corner, because there are many children's authors in Grenada, more so than there were before COVID started. So we have a lot of authors who will be on show. We have about 25 authors, and among the panel discussions we'll be having is a topic on the self-publishing journey. A lot of us are self-published authors. So a few of us will get together to have a talk about self-publishing. We know a lot of Grenadians have material that they'd like to publish, but they don't know what the next step is after writing the manuscript, going through the whole process of editing and so on. They might have it there, kusumering in the files.
See? Here it comes naturally.
Correct. Yeah. So it'll be in the files, and they don't know what to do next. So this could be a chance for Grenadians to come out to hear what the possibilities are after they've written the manuscripts and so on. Then we have a feature by Mrs. Joan Purcell. She's also a published author, led by Mrs. Purcell and Amanda Jack and Reverend Vonnie James. They'll be talking about Walking from Wilderness to Promise, a critique. And she has done several books. Yeah. And this is one of the books that she has done. I'm looking forward to the Children's Corner, which will be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The entire event will be from 1 to 8 p.m. at the Trade Center Annex. But the Children's Corner itself will be basically for kids from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So there'll be a picture book story time, reading with the children, reading to the children. There'll be art activities where you have illustrators coming to show them how to draw things and so on. So it'll be quite active. So this wouldn't be just a boring event where people walk around looking at books, and individual authors will have their own stations.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be one or two tables with a pile of books. but you go to individual tables.
So you get to interact with the authors.
You get to interact with the authors. The last time I updated my list of Grenadian authors, we had, I think when we spoke in August, when we were on that show, it was about just about 140. Today, it's 157.
Wow.
A lot of people are publishing. So we have quite a number of new authors. I bought a book the other day from a new author. He just published a crime fiction, and brand new. I'm telling you, Grenadians are publishing.
Is the quick leap in the numbers of publishing authors for Grenada? Going through them, is there depth? Or because people thinking now that, okay, that's an opportunity to make some income, that you just write and water it down a bit?
Yeah, opportunity to make income. Interesting that you should say that. And it kicks in here. Because there isn't really an opportunity to make an income from...
There's not much.
In Grenada?
In Grenada. Not even abroad.
Yeah, worldwide.
Worldwide is not really a big thing. Although there are billions of authors, but still...
I think there are few authors that might make it big.
Yeah.
But by and large,
my favorite is Robert Ludlum.
Yeah. The intrigue and the espionage and things like that.
When you listen, he published, he sold how many million copies on the Matlock paper and the Born Identity. I see some of them get transferred into movies now.
And it's a franchise. It's film,
Yeah, the Born Identity, the Born Ultimatum, the Born Supremacy, and also
Born and so on. So once an author gets a big break, it's a big break.
As a matter of fact, there's an author friend of mine that published a fiction book, crime fiction, and he was in conversation with a studio in Hollywood. My good friend, I'm getting aged.
It's good. I told you. You need to. I'm glad you confess to get you aging.
We're talking about Gilbert.
Yes, Gilbert. My good friend. I have to touch base. Someone says here some quick questions. All right. Firstly, Mr. Nelson, Yulin Alexander says, good morning. Always nice to have you on. Great man of culture. Best of the best. Have a great day. Yulin Alexander.
Thanks, Yulin.
Lydia says, you guys need to go to different parishes because I'm not hearing Grenville at all. That's not true because we're going to GSS.
I just said GSS on Tuesday. We're having the poetry competition, but I also said at Kadruna on the 11th from 6 in the evening, combining with Miss Bowen's school and Sidu. They are doing a bonfire, storytelling, etc. So I did mention two activities in St. Andrew.
Shema Dabo says, did I hear St. Mark and Carriacou and Petit Martinique?
Last year we did Carriacou. The focus was on Carriacou, but because of the condition that is taking place now, we have not done Carriacou. The late invitation, we were unable to get a confirmation from St. Mark and from St. David, but we reached out to the parish-based organization. We were prepared to say, okay, well, if your group or your organization can be on board, the Grenada Cultural Foundation would sponsor part of the activity, but they were sometimes it's a process, and the committees were not able to get the act together for that time. So we did reach out to all the parish-based organizations.
Mary E. Banks says we must continue the tradition of storytelling in our own dialect and pass it on to the next generation. Otherwise, it can be lost. So people are accepting the fact that if we're not careful and act promptly, we stand a great chance of losing all that.
I interact with a lot of young people, teenagers, as part of my job.
Sometimes you see.
And when you listen to how they speak nowadays, you're thinking, wait, am I in the United States or what? What's going on here?
Or in some cases, Jamaica.
I don't know if to say that's worse, but
now it's more the US.
But it's a lot of American expressions and way of speaking and so on that we hear from our teenagers, and we could blame TV or whatever, but still it's sad that we're moving away from how Grenadians express ourselves using our own dialect.
But I let me just come in here. When I hear that, the question is not that they are using American expression per se, or there's a next equation here. When people talk about carnival and we say, well, these people are dressing in a particular way, really skimpy. My question, and based on where I sit in the Grenada Cultural Foundation, and maybe our director Ambrose here is sitting in the same chair, in a similar way with me. What are we doing to counteract that? So the Grenada Cultural Foundation, our effort now is to make this, is to expand on our presence in the life of our children. So to me, it doesn't make sense, they speak in American, or they're doing this or that. What can we as a people do? What can the policymakers do? What can the Grenada Cultural Foundation, the publishers, the radio station? Are the radio stations and our television stations playing and exposing our children as much as possible to Grenadian content?
About home?
We are influenced now a lot by what they hear, So if the musicians, our music, if our television station and radio stations is not exposing the Grenadian people, children, to enough Grenadian content, then you leave them exposed. So we all have to come in and to chip in and to see how can we. So I challenge all the television stations and the radio stations and some of our young upcoming musicians to produce materials that is of good quality to Grenadians. Okay. And then we have a reason to seriously complain.
Okay. All right. So as it's just about time for us to start wrapping, this anti-tech
Spicewood
Festival, is it going to be an annual event? Are we going to continue it, or is just going to take precedence this year and then next year it's gone?
Well, it's been on for the last 12 years.
Yeah, it's been on.
As I said, and this year we are trying to expand on its role, its significance. That is all we can do, gradually expand and try to convince the sponsors, the private sectors, the ministries, the government, to put more emphasis on what we are doing. Yeah. So we have expanded a lot this year. We are hoping that next year again we will take in a little. Something that, David, I did not have time to tell you. I got a call from an ambassador from a small island called San Andreas, just off Colombia. And they heard of what we are doing and they want to combine, they want to work with us. They want to invite us next year. They want to come down even this year. So to be part of the Anti-Tech Spicewood Festival. The point I'm making, this year, David, you didn't even mention that for the first time they're launching the book festival. They call it a book festival. Yeah. Wow. So that is an interesting development that we are recognizing.
Yeah, part of the expansion, because we've never had a book festival as part of the book of the Anti-Tech. But we had a little event where on the side we have a table to showcase a few Grenadian books. So this year, Grenadian published authors, of which I'm a director, we decided we have to make this thing bigger as part of the expansion of the whole festival, and let's allow Grenada to see the authors, And so obviously we couldn't do this alone. We had to collaborate with partners and get sponsors and things like that. So we got a good number of people to come on board, and it's an event where, like I said before, you don't just come into a room and just go up to a table and let me see this book there and who wrote this book and things like that. We want deep conversation between the public and the authors. And I'd like to invite the entire public, everybody come along to the Trade Center Annex on the 12th. Teachers, principals, bring your students, because it's important that the children see who the authors are.
They can turn it into a field trip.
Turn it into a Saturday field trip. Yeah. Parents, bring out the children. And it's in the afternoon,
Someone says, Lydia Cameron says, I just ordered Mr. Ambrose's book. White Spice.
Oh, wow.
It's on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, yeah, it's on Amazon.
Wow.
All my books are on Amazon.
That's
Yes,
good.
yes, thank
That's
you.
good. There has to be a concerted effort to speak and play Grenadian content. It just can't be a request. It has to be legislated, like a 60-40, 60% Grenadian content played. If I'm not mistaken, in requesting a license for operating a radio or TV station, that's part of the arrangement.
But who monitors?
That's the point.
Who monitors?
That's the point. A certain percentage must be local, but it's sad, guilty as charged. We're not adhering to it.
Yeah.
I try my best to play as much local as possible.
Right.
Notwithstanding the fact that sometimes the content, the quality, sometimes is left wanting. But I think as people in the media, we have an integral role to play in that drive.
Yeah, but I think we need to promote our bilingualism. Our Grenadian dialect as well as standard English. Have you ever heard some Jamaicans speak like Shaggy?
Yeah.
When Shaggy speaks in the United States, you would never know he's Jamaican.
He's Jamaican. But when he's in Jamaica,
you never
like he never went to America.
That's the level of bilingualism we're talking about.
Okay. We have a caller on the line. Let's entertain a caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Innocent, and to your guests. The program is very interesting this morning, very, very much interested program this morning. But I have one thing to say about it. I never knew Mr. Ambrose had a book. He's author of a book. You see, we doesn't promote it enough, the authors of our book. Although that was a good thing you're doing Saturday coming, but I can be there because I'm a Seventh Adventist. But it's a good thing to showcase the locals. And I think it should be part of our curriculum in school, that some of the local books should be given in school for the school children to know who the authors and to read the content, so we could have our own Grenadian students. So have all these kind of foreign books coming from different countries, and we have none from local authors in our schools. So I think it should be part of our school curriculum so that the children are able to learn to know who the author of the book and the contents of it, and we can be able to speak properly to identify by our language and identify by our own culture and our own people. We leave our people behind too long. We leave our people behind and promoting other people from foreign countries who don't know nothing about our local people, because I never knew Mr. Ambrose had a book, and it's so interesting to know so much of the good authors there, and the book stays dormant on the shelf. I think it's time that we really get up and get it out from the bookshelf and get into people's hand, people's home, in schools. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Yeah, take it out from where it's Kusumeng.
Yeah, exactly.
And bring it to the fore.
We had to keep showcasing.
But we have a Hututu.
Yeah. Hututu work. Tell you what we'll do, gentlemen. It's 10 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We take a commercial break and we'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere. It's the conversation.
GBN is your home for this year's Republic Bank CPL. Please note there will be adjustments to our programming lineup on Tuesday, October 1st, Wednesday, October 2nd, and Friday, October 4th. Transitions will air at 5:05 p.m., followed by GBN television news at 6 p.m. And don't miss the news repeat right after the CPL match. Transitions will also be rebroadcast after the news repeat, so you won't miss a thing. GBN, bringing you sports coverage anywhere and everywhere. season, get ready for a magical celebration packed with culinary delights, crafts, and music that will bring joy to your heart. But that's not all. Lots of giveaways are waiting for you. Stay tuned and make this Christmas one to remember only with GBN. Looking to take your business to new heights? Advertise with GBN on our social media platforms and get noticed by our 138,000 plus followers. Reach a massive engaged audience ready to connect with your brand. No matter your business size, GBN is here to help you grow. Contact us today at admin@gbn.gd or WhatsApp 407-8458 to get started.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. Speaking with Mr. Keith Ambrose, David Ambrose, and yeah, no, that the first name sticking mad, yeah, and Mr. Nelson. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. We lost that caller. 435-2041. It's 7 minutes on to 8. We've got 7 minutes left with the program. Mm-hmm. There was a key. There was a key point you wanted to make. We'll take it after. Good morning, caller.
Yes, President, good morning. Now, I want to be very frank. This is a very interesting program. I mean, you all are so selfish. They're retired teachers out there. Their parents are retired teachers. And do you mean you wouldn't hear a comment from them? I don't like that. Nevertheless, I think that the step that's taken forward is allowing children to write poems, publish them, encourage them. You can have Grenada could have poets, they could have calypsonians and all the rest of it. And I think that this is a very good move, and let us see how far this will get. You talk about a program for children from, I think, 1 to 5, and I think that is very good. I mean, it's things like this that cause Marshall Montano to be where he is now, that lady. And, let us, good. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. The substantive point we wanted to make was the fact that Nutmeg Princess, penned by Ricardo Kings Douglas, is used in outside territories and not used in our schools.
Used in Canada, I mean,
and Australia.
And Australia as well. We're not using them in all schools.
Yeah.
Not, in fact, I can't think of any books that are used in our schools as literature books.
That are Grenadians.
In Grenada.
Yeah. We have another caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Joseph. Greetings. Just a couple of observations here. One, seemingly these gentlemen and so on are not very well aware that there's a vast difference between dialects, pay attention to the words, and the colloquialism. To make it easy, colloquialism is slang. Most of our colloquialistic expressions are vulgar. So when we're talking about writing and things, be careful of the difference between them both. I also heard one of the gentlemen, I can't remember which, I think is the author, and by the way, it's author, not Arthur. The gentleman said that we are bilingual. Well, I'll be doggone, I never knew that. I recall when I was at school, we were taught to understand the language that the teachers were paid to teach. We were obligated to learn because of the officiality of it. But we were also taught not to go and abuse and quote-unquote show off in your community, to go and talk highfalutin amongst your people. Talk to your people in the way you normally speak. And additionally, if you're going to St. George's and you have to talk to a lawyer or another person that you don't know. So these are things that have come through the ages. Where did it fail? I don't know. The bright boys and the sociologists have to decide that. But pay attention, gentlemen. There is nothing wrong in learning dialect and understanding it, but normally you would quote it. You're doing an examination. I don't think that has changed. You do an examination and the instructions on the paper tell you standard English for the normal response, but if you have to quote anything, you quote it as dialect. There's nothing wrong with that. Long live dialect, but I believe that when you speak on radio and other things like that, in certain positions of representation of the state, in other words, that you have to learn the proper language to do so. So long live the English language. And by the way, it's not the Queen's English. It has never been. Have a nice day, will you?
Thank you very much, caller.
Well, I disagree with the caller. I disagree on the fact that for people to express themselves, for people to seriously develop and liberate themselves, you have to do it within your own language, within your own skin. And at one time, our expression was being suppressed. Just like in Jamaica, they have made move now to what I call regulate also and have what they call the Jamaican patois as an official language. I believe it is okay for us to strive to have our own expression. And if our expression is sometimes saying arter or whatsoever is such, that is our accent, that is okay. And it is okay to express that on radio because that is how we are liberated. We cannot always depend on the expression also of what is given, so-called on what you call the Oxford language or the Oxford expression. I think even within England itself, there are different countries that have different expression. And it is okay. It is okay for the Chinese to pronounce something different because they learn it as a second language. It is okay.
I had a gentleman from South America that is here for the Sargassum conference, and we were talking, and he was Grenada.
Well, Grenada is a corruption. It's a corruption, but
in Spanish.
In Spanish.
So he continues to pronounce it as he knows it in Spanish.
We're out of time, gentlemen. 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yeah. So I just want to again invite everybody to the Grenada Book Fair. In fact, I'd like everybody to support the entire festival. But with respect to the Grenada Book Fair on Saturday, the 12th of October at the Grenada Trade Center Annex. And I just want to say thank you to all those who partnered with the Grenadian published authors. I could call some names here quickly, like the Office of Creative Affairs, the Grenada Cultural Foundation, the Grenada Trade Center, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, Huggins, Standard Bookshop, Delightful Pieces, True Blue Bay Resort, Calabash Hotel, Mount Cinnamon Hotel, Budget Marine Grenada have all partnered with us in some way to realize this great event, the Grenada Book Festival. It's the first time we're having the Grenada Book Festival, an event of this scale, showcasing literature, showcasing Grenadian authors, Grenadian creativity. And it's great to partner with the Grenada Cultural Foundation to bring this event.
Well, our final part, I just want to ensure that we list some of the activities that is taking place. One, we want as many persons as possible to come out to the first major one. Participate at the 8th at GSS, be part of the poetry, the word competition. Open mic night at Spice Basket on the 10th. We want you to come out and be part of that. And there's a general appeal to all the principals and teachers, etc., to participate in those activities. And the activities we listed on the 11th may be time out. We run out of time. But in all the parishes, in Goa Fish Fry on the 11th, and Kadrona, Breakwater in Sotes, in St. Paul's, we want you to come out and go and be part of that experience. Authors, playwrights, scriptwriters, folktellers, please come out and be part of celebrating our history and culture through the word. So thank you again for having us.
Thank you,
Innocent and GBN. We really appreciate it.
The pleasure is always ours. So thank you very much for dropping by, and we look forward to a successful campaign, Anti-Tech.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Folks, we've got to join the BBC, which is already in progress. Thank you very much for your contribution, your participation, and being a part of the audience.